I expected more. Hello, welcome to In the Armchair. Today we're going to be ranking every single movie within the Small Axe series. The link for individual reviews will be in the description below. Quick disclaimer, I'm half Jamaican, half Ghanaian. I was born in 87 in England, so I wasn't around at the time that most of these events were shot, so I can't speak on the accuracy other than conversations I've had with people. Let's start off with the positives. It was good that BBC and Amazon actually commissioned a series of 5 movies that focused on the black British experience. It featured a lot of black talent, which was also good, and it was given a prime time slot here in the UK. It was also very educational from both perspectives. Me being a young black British guy, not necessarily knowing a lot of the things that happen here, and also for white people to understand their own history and what part they had to play and things that are still going on today, and hopefully it encourages further conversations. And combined with the educational elements, there were also very inspirational moments where I was like, yes, I'm proud to be here. This is what it's all about, and we can do things beyond what people try to put us in a box for. And lastly, the acting, which was superb from the first movie to the last. Excellent performances. There were some that were truly great. However, it wasn't all good. A lot of the storylines, in my opinion, were incomplete. I didn't like the fact that it showed a quick snapshot of, say, 5% of this person's life and didn't show the rest. I didn't like the fact it was focusing on very specific areas and not necessarily showing the full picture or the aftermath of something. On top of that, many of them ended on a very dry, low note that, like, what? Really? Is this how this is ending? This is boring. This felt underwhelming. And lastly, the accuracy over certain details has been called into question by some of the older generation I've been speaking to. Now, with that out of the way, let's rank these episodes. Coming in at number 5, Lovers Rock. I did not enjoy this one bit. Somehow, it's won the BFI Film of the Year. I just can't believe it. This film was boring, it was slow, it lacked any plot, the acting was okay, but everything else I just did not care. There was no reason to care. On top of that, there were things that were happening within there that I thought, this doesn't even make any sense. Again, I'm not from that era, but when they started rolling around on the floor, I was like, that doesn't seem to be right. This isn't some drug-filled party. This is not what I know dances to be like. So I didn't really like that as well. But overall, nothing happens. I don't know how it won an award, but I did not enjoy this episode at all. Coming in at number 4 is Education. I like the storyline. I like them showing how some of the black kids were being marginalized and almost segregated because they may have been a bit louder. But unfortunately, it lacked depth. There were some things missing. I didn't get the full picture. I didn't get the complete story. I didn't get the aftermath. I was only shown a tiny bit, and there were a few different subplots going on that I was actually interested in that were not explored. It didn't go anywhere. That was my biggest issue with the film. It was also quite slow in many places. Coming in at number 3, Alex Wheatle. Now, this was actually quite entertaining. I was laughing throughout most of it. But again, some areas have been called into question. There's a scene where he's asked to strip for an ounce. I'm not from that era. I just don't know how serious that is. I don't think that's realistic at all. There was, again, a lack of depth and explanation over many things that happened, and the timeline was non-existent. Lastly, it ended with him just at the beginning of his life. I did not like that. Yes, you've shown us some of the foundation, but you haven't really shown us the inspiration for his book. A scene in a jail cell speaking to a Rasta man who tells him to read books, and then he goes on to be an award-winning author. The two don't translate. So that was the biggest issue with here, but it was entertaining throughout. Number 2, Mangrove. This was the one that kicked it all off. I really enjoyed this. As I said, I described it similar to the trial of Chicago 7. A lot of it was based in the court. I liked the exchanges between them and the court. This was a big moment in history. It was the longest film out of all of them, but it kept me engaged throughout. Letitia Wright gave the best performance in the whole of the Small Axe series. You just have to watch it. She is amazing. So that means number 1 was Red, White and Blue. I really enjoyed this movie. I particularly loved the overall message it was sending about change, about changing things from within, that we've got to be part of that change. I thought John Boyega's performance was outstanding as well. Second best in this series. I like the fact it gave us context to some of the decisions he was making that was lacking from some of the other episodes. The only issue I had with this was, once again, the ending. It ended on a very mute point, and it didn't show us the rest of his career. This officer went on to achieve big things. That was key. It needed to show us that message. So there you have it. That's my ranking of Small Axe. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree? Let me know in the comments.